Okay, team, today we're talking about intentional communities and network states, the good, the bad, and the ugly of these two forces trying to shape the communities of the future. And that's what this whole channel and project is about, building the great towns and cities to come. So community building right now in today's zeitgeist is polarized between two main types, okay? So we have the back to nature, egalitarian spiritual people, and they tend to build intentional eco-villages, intentional communities, and a lot of the back to nature off-grid projects as well. And this is a very ground up, grassroots kind of way of building community. And it has a lot of strengths, but it also has glaring weaknesses, which I want to point out in this video. The other side of the coin then is the network state people. So this is the very tech-oriented, aspirational types of builders. And I'm going to break down what the network state is, its strengths and its weaknesses before going into the intentional community strengths and weaknesses, because I think both have strengths, but both are terribly inadequate to support the cultural revolution happening right now. It's time that we build new villages and new towns with our friends, and we can learn from both of these, but I think it's time to innovate a new model of how the decentralized revolution is going to occur. So welcome back to the ReTribalize project. Let's dive right into it. So the network state. On the screen right here is an example of one network state, or trying to be a network state, and that is Praxis. And Praxis has this very tech-forward, very vitalistic feeling about it. It says, Praxis is the world's first digital nation, a home for the brave who strive for virtue and wisdom. Our purpose is to restore Western civilization and pursue our ultimate destiny of life amongst the stars. The network state is very inspiring in the sense that it attracts the young and talented from all over the world, and that's one of its strengths. So let's talk about the network state here. The network state was proposed by Balaji, who wrote the book, The Network State. You can go check out the website. And the network state is basically this. Online communities form around a leader and a shared alignment of values. And those online communities, they build shared projects together. They collaborate in the online world. Then they pool capital together, right, into crowdfunding new types of states, an archipelago of lands, outposts, and new nations, right? Prospera is an example of people doing this, right? There's different network states. I believe there was one Puerto Utopia, and all these different experimental charter cities, right? And these new nations that the network state wants to build, they're backed by blockchain, by decentralized autonomous organizations, by online governance, by this radical new use of technology to create deep transparency and accountability within governance structures, which would solve and basically create an enlightened form of leadership to some degree. And also network states are built on founder/startup logic. And that means that there's a CEO, there's a founder and a visionary who's bringing people together towards a dream. It's relying on what we've learned from the business world of how to build successful organizations, which I think is actually a deep strength of the network state that a lot of the egalitarian back to nature hippies have never implemented before, and therefore have never built as much steam as some of these tech projects will. So other strengths of the network state, you have an idea of what it is. People meet online, they crowdfund land, they build new nations that are online first, physical second. The strengths of this is its super high mimetic scalability, meaning that this idea spreads so fast online, especially if you get good influencers behind it, and it transcends geography. In the sense of when I first read the network state, I was stoked on it. I went and researched all the different network states out there, trying to find, what kind of project can I join? I applied to the network state school. It has high amounts of capital coordination. So the network state school has tens of millions of dollars behind it. A lot of these network state projects like Praxis have big businesses and entrepreneurs backing them with funds. And it's very innovation friendly. So obviously the network state, it relies on getting capital from entrepreneurs. So it's very attractive to entrepreneurs and tech elites, right? And it embraces innovation in governance, currency, and law. And it's global by default, right? So just to like strongman the network state, if I go to the Praxis website, almost everything it says, like I'm stoked on. Let's restore Western civilization. Let's build projects of titanic beauty and excellence once again. Like, let's create a culture of wisdom and virtue and transcendence within people. Let's have a highly filtered digital nation that manifests into the real world. I am absolutely stoked on this, right? But there are some glaring weaknesses to the network state, primarily being Praxis has lofty ambitions, but essentially it's a Discord server full of nerds that's impossible to use and impossible to connect with anything or anyone. In fact, I've made them an incredible video and no one even reached out to me from it, you know? So it's like, it has all of this like energy and vision, but such little actual action or integration. And we're going to break down the deep problems with the entire network state here in the critique coming at the end. But first, I want to lay out its opposite first. Let me quickly introduce the egalitarian return to nature intentional communities. These are basically existing riding on the back of the 1960s and the 1980s return to land movement, you know, escape civilization movement. And a lot of them are quite successful. I just did a ChatGPT research of like the most long-lasting intentional communities, and like Twin Oaks is one of them. A lot of these communities pop up with, you know, hundreds of members living together. And so let's do a quick overview before strengths and weaknesses. These are off-grid eco-villages, they're communes, they're permaculture projects. I've lived in quite a few of these in Hawaii and in Durango, Colorado. They're often built around a spiritual, ecstatic dance, like festival-linked culture. And there's a deep emphasis on healing, simplicity, equality, like egalitarianism, and ecological sustainability. These are the great goods of intentional communities. The strengths of these communities is like a sense of belonging, deep face-to-face connection. There's integration with the land. There's a shared ritual and spiritual practice to some degree, although a lot of them are anti-religion. And their emphasis is on resilience of small groups and healing from modern alienation. So these communities, you know, they work. I've lived in them, but they lack something deeply that the network state has, and the network state people lack something deeply that these people have. So to understand this, let's understand Ken Wilber's spiral dynamics. So in spiral dynamics, this is a graph or a list that kind of demonstrates levels of consciousness or different sensibilities or ways of relating to the world. And all of us, we operate from different levels of consciousness, and this informs our worldview, okay? So if we look at a network state, the network state is going to be very orange meme. The orange sensibility looks at the world and is like, it's very rationalistic and scientific. It's very progress and individually oriented. The orange meme was responsible for the Enlightenment, like life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. All men are created equal, and there's this gusto for scientific achievement, for entrepreneurship, for building the future. This is what we see when we look at Praxis, right? We see this like deep sense of let's go achieve something incredible. Let's use technology to pioneer the future. That's the orange meme, okay? So network states are built on this. I would say that the egalitarian return to nature communes, they're built more on the green meme, okay? And the green meme is the pluralistic egalitarian meme. And this emphasizes multiculturalism, equality, consensus, environmental concerns, civil rights, environmentalism, and social justice. So the crazy thing is these two memes tend to be at war with each other. And this is why when I've been presenting on the network state, some people are like, absolutely fuck yes, let's go do that. Tech first, let's build something beautiful. Let's build a utopia. And other people, when they hear something like, we are building a community based on healing, simplicity, equality, and ecological sustainability. We have radical like inclusion to everyone. When people hear that and they see this image, they think this is the ultimate good. So I encourage everyone watching this video to query your own sensibility right now. Like when you see the network state, are you in agreement with that? Or when you see these egalitarian, agrarian communities, are you in a communion with that? One thing that the intentional communities have that the network state people don't have is the purple meme, okay? So the purple meme is the animistic, magical, and this is actually the root of spirituality, of deep bonds with each other. I know for me, like, when I'm at a festival and I'm dancing around the fire with my best friends, like freestyle rapping, invoking the gods, having this incredible experience together, it is those experiences that actually bond us together into a force of nature, okay? The network state people are totally trapped into this like global digital they think like if we just have the right technology, the right sense of blockchain, that we're going to actually create the future. And they're dead wrong about this. This is what the intentional community people understand. And that is tribes are built from the heart, from connection through the heart, not connection through the mind. So obviously the intentional community people get something right the network state misses, is this grassroots, let's get together, let's actually connect as human beings, and let's grow something as a team. Love that. I love that they have a deeper sense of spirituality, and especially I like also the Christian communities that do revolve around the blue meme, which is going to be more about religion, a shared spiritual practice versus individual spiritual practice. And it has a tradition. I enjoy tradition. And I think a really successful community of any kind is going to incorporate all the memes into a higher order of thinking. This is what the ReTribalize project aims at. So I appreciate the intentional community people, but also I need to like absolutely tear them apart too. Is if we scroll into this picture here, like you're going to see a lot of women and old people because it doesn't attract the young and talented. It's lacking vitality. It's lacking something inspiring. When I hear a focus on healing, simplicity, equality, and ecological sustainability, I hear like a nursing home, right? And if we go and look at, I don't mean to attack too viciously here. I've lived in a lot of these projects. I have a deep appreciation for them. But I just went on ChatGPT and I was like, yo, give me a list of some of the main intentional communities that are long lasting. We have Twin Oaks Community, a long-running egalitarian commune. We have Dancing Rabbit Eco Village, a sustainability demo and intentional village life. We have Earth Haven Eco Village near Asheville, permacultural, natural building, 12 neighborhoods. These things, they sound cool. And I just kept going through the list and clicking on their websites. And when I clicked on their websites, all I saw was the green meme painted everywhere, right? So Earth Haven Eco Village is located on the ancestral lands of blank and blank. Our goal is working towards partnership culture, towards racial and gender equality, against all, we work against oppression in all of its forms. Over and over, you keep seeing super egalitarian green meme messaging. In fact, every single website for intentional communities is green. It is the green meme embodied, right? And if we see pictures like this, we have like the ecstatic dance festival crew. We have kids, right? But also we just see a project that lacks real gusto. I see almost zero young and ambitious men in these projects. In fact, you just get a lot of old people, a lot of women, and it's so different from what the network state guys get right, which is this aspiration, this will towards power, this will towards excellence, this will towards beauty. So the problem with the green meme in general is that it's aiming down and it's trying to include everyone and trying to just be everything and trying to basically be non-offensive. And yes, this works, but you're never going to attract the young and talented people. You're never going to attract the civilizational builders with that kind of attitude. I mean, if you want to start your own retribalized project, right, that is a return to the land, that is just about simple living, farming and including everyone, that's beautiful. I'm not here to attack. I'm just saying, if we want to build towns that change the entire zeitgeist of humanity, if we want to build villages that attract the most talented people in the world to build with you, you need to include the orange and red memes, right? So the red meme in Ken Wilber, this was the foundation of the Hellenic world, of Greek city-states, of the Roman Empire, of warrior cultures. Guess who has the red meme included into it, right? That's going to be the network state people. They have this overtone, right? Of we are reclaiming the West. We have this Promethean energy of excellence behind us, right? When you look at an intentional community, do you see any Promethean energy of excellence, right? All you have is addresses saying, I'm sorry for racism. You know, like this is really what it is essentially. It's like, I'm sorry, let's live in more harmony and become stewards of the land. But at the same time, what they're promoting is the purple meme, right? Tribal communities, shamanic culture, stewarding the land. They're promoting the green meme, right? And this is what I'm saying here in this video is that the real communities that are going to shift the zeitgeist combine both, right? The orange and the red, the purple and the green. And when you do this, you create a retribalized project. And this is also a bottom-up alternative. So I'm going to go back to the other recording here and do my deep critique of the network state before offering the solution. And if you want the real solution, it's finding the best people in the world to build with you, which is the app we just created to connect you to your best friends. There's a link below to that app. It's going to be an incredible place for building the intentional communities of the future. Let's go back to my critique of the network state. So obviously the problem with network states is it's tech-centric, not human-centric, right? The network state concept assumes that digital infrastructure and blockchain are the natural starting points for community. But historically, civilizations and strong communities begin with shared meaning, culture, and ritual, not a code, right? So this tech-first approach is doomed to failure. It's why Praxis will forever be a Discord full of autistic, intelligent entrepreneurs. And the network state, it prioritizes meaningless like online connection versus real brotherhood. So like it conflates scale with depth, right? 100,000 member Discord community feels impressive, but the bonds are fragile, right? So why the ReTribalize project is a little different than this is a sense of I have a very large YouTube audience spread across multiple channels. I run the Men's Academy, which is an online, community for men who are philosophically, spiritually oriented, who are ambitious to build the future. And from there, I filter people into my real life who are super highly aligned with me. So I'm here with Brennan. I'm here with Steven right now. We're slow motion traveling together as we build the ReTribalize app. And it's creating a deep sense of bonds. We're going to continue to grow this project one person at a time. And the goal is to create a freaking bowling ball down a mountain, right? Not a 100,000 person Discord server, but a team of 10 people who are super highly aligned, incredibly capable, and incredibly aligned on the mission of building the greatest town ever seen in human history. That's what we want to do, right? So it's a different approach in the sense that I think the real projects of the future, right? They're bottom up, not top down. It's not that you create this nation online and filter it into real life, but you use the nation online to build a team in real life that builds upward and then filters from the network. So it's a little bit different from the network state, right? The other thing that the ReTribalize project is doing differently than the network state is it is bringing in some of these memes from the return to nature egalitarian intentional communities, right? So these communities, they do have a deep sense of community bonding in real life, like getting land with your friends. We all want to do that. And I think that's what the ReTribalize project can start at. So lest I go off on too many tangents here, let's go back to this critique of the network state. So utopian branding and shallow roots, we just looked at Praxis. It is like this very lofty language, but nothing is happening at all. And then my other deep critique of the network state is this money buy-in system. So I'm very protective of, in the sense of I don't want to filter a community together based on whoever buys the right NFT and invests the most money can make decisions. And a lot of the meritocracy we see in network state is still based on money, right? Like you buy in as an investor into Balaji's network state school and you get a say in things that are happening. This is the essence of DAOs, like decentralized autonomous organizations. You can look at City DAO in Wyoming. And basically people could just buy in this expensive NFT token to have a stake in the community and a shared say in voting and operations. That's bullshit, right? In the sense of this is the commodification of belonging. Membership often requires buy-in, NFTs, or token stakes, and this turns citizenship into a marketplace transaction rather than a sacred bond, right? So the retribalize is different than this is because you can't buy into the retribalize project, right? You have to pass a vibe check, right? We're looking for hearts, for intelligence, for capacity to build together in real life, not a community of people who could buy into it. So this is something I've been harping on a lot, is the modern world, like a lot of businesses today, they exclude based on money. So there's these like elite travel communities or elite dating apps where you buy in to get on it. And yeah, that does filter for higher quality people somewhat, but I would never join that. And I also know that everyone there isn't actually totally aligned. They just had enough money to join. Now imagine communities that are totally value aligned and vibe checks to join, not money. And from that, you actually build the resources together to support the community instead of people buying into the community. I think a money buy-in really compromises the growth of anything in the long term. So again, network states tend to be over-indexed on autism. For instance, I applied to the Network School Fellowship Program. I run multiple successful, YouTube channels. I have a successful online community that is a micro nation that is already manifesting into real life, and we are building our retribalized project. We are literally the embodiment of what the network state wants, and I didn't even get in because I'm not some like startup app developer, although wait, I actually am a startup app developer. So I literally hit all the boxes, but I probably didn't pass their calculus IQ tests. So it seems like the network state and biology are just indexing so high on autism and a lot of these like super techie, geeky startup founders that lack all charisma. And this is a huge consequence for the network state guys, is they're gonna lack the heart-centered tribe, the golden hearts that actually build and bring community together. And then they obviously have an absence of ritual, and they have transcendence built in, like Praxis is deeply founded on a principle of transcendence, but there's this absence of real life ritual, of shared spiritual practice, of the heartbeat of community. And again, like you can't build a community based on ideological agreement. You build a community based on shared experiences, based on raw human experiences of like dancing around the fire, a sacred hunt, like a deep share, having prayer together, of like communion together. And this is something that, again, a lot of the intentional communities get right. The final problem with the network state, and also the problem with intentional communities in general, is there's no way to connect with real people. When you get on these big Discord servers or you join these online communities, it's like, who do you connect with and who's the right fit for you to connect with? And because of this, it just feels like a whole bunch of faceless people. And for instance, if you also are out there and you're looking for the right people to go buy land with, to start a village with, if you're looking for the right intentional community or eco village or wellness center or tech startup or entrepreneur hub, like where do you find those people in this sea of millions of people searching for something, but no way to connect with the right ones? And this is what our new app absolutely solves. Okay. This retribalized.ai is built to connect you to the most highly aligned people in the entire world, right? To find your best friends who share your vision together. So instead of joining a Praxis Discord server with tens of thousands of people, you can join this app who will connect you with the people who share the same utopian dream as you, who share the same religious values as you or spiritual values, and that way connect you into a group who's building the same dream as you. This is where I absolutely believe in the bottom-up alternative to both projects, in the sense of let's find the people who are the most highly aligned and capable and dreaming the same dream as us. Let's band together online and bring those relationships into real life teams, into wolf packs, into retribalized projects, and actually build upward from there. And guess what? If you actually build the base and build the foundation in real life, and then you connect that to an online community, like through our app, this is how you can filter together the young and talented and people who are highly aligned with your mission. So if you want to find your intentional community or find your network state or go found one, this app is literally built for you. And guess what? It's free. It's free right now for everyone who watches this channel. There's a link below to retribalize.ai. You can build out a profile there, and it's going to start matching you to your best friends. And I'm so bullish on this, my friends, because no matter what kind of project you want to start, right? A religious commune, a spiritual eco-village, a permaculture project, or the greatest city ever seen in human history, this app is going to connect you with the leaders who want to do the same thing. And this is how I want to start the decentralized revolution, or at least, add my fire to it. So come join us there. You might just match with me. Let's go build the future. Peace.